Hello and welcome to News Today. Coming up, Electricity Company of Ghana to start installing prepaid meters in official homes of government appointees in line with President Mahama's directive. Former flag-bearer aspirant of the New Patriotic Party suggests a complete revolution of policies and programs if the party is to win 2016 presidential election. Also ahead, M23 rebels and the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo suspend peace talks only days after they spoke of major breakthroughs. I am Kemini Nyamani Amana. When I return, I'll bring you details of these stories and plenty more. You're watching News Today. Former flag-bearer aspirant of the New Patriotic Party, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, has suggested a complete revolution of policies and programs of the party if it is to win the 2016 presidential election. Addressing students of the NPP's youth wing in the Upper West regional capital, the renowned hat surgeon criticized the Mahama administration for reducing the economy to what he described as an Adam and Eve one. Rafiq Salam's report from WA.
Speaking to members of the WA campus branch of the Tertiary Students' Confederacy of the New Patriotic Party, the former flag-bearer aspirant of the New Patriotic Party, Professor Frimpong Boateng, didn't mince words on the management of the country's economy by the National Democratic Congress, describing it as Adam and Eve economy.
You know, no one came better. After all, he would take wood, shape it, and hold a ship that was able to withstand the flood for 4 years. And he was able to save humanity. Now, what he just said that if you add value to things, you are able to save humanity. So let us add value to things we have and move from the Adam and Eve economy to the Noah economy.
He stated that the success of any government is not determined by the number of roads, hospitals and schools that it has constructed, but rather the extent to which it is able to develop the human capital or resource so that people will be able to live independent lives and be less dependent on foreign capital and its influence.
They look at the GDP report and they are saying they are not sending money to Ghana. And if they don't send money, your education, which depends on 80%, you are half of 80%, and the other 80% is suffering. Now, statutory payment are not done. Schools have received their subvention. Health insurance, no subvention. Nothing is going on. Why? Because we are mismanaging ourselves. In the current sense, but now more concentrated. And that's what worries me.
He called for a complete revolution of the policies and programs of the party that will win the 2016 polls.
There must be a serious change. Change the way we do this. We cannot do this like we are doing now. Our enemies are not the enemies. Our enemies are poverty, mismanagement, hunger, poor education. These are the enemies of Ghana. If we focus too much on political opponents, they are not enemies. So if we take over the 2016, and we continue to do this the way Africans do, there must be a serious thing. No way about the problems of the nation, challenges, stay there and address them with education, targeted education, research, development.
Rafiq Salam's reports from WA.
Government last week directed the installation of prepaid meters at the official residences of government officials. The move is part of measures by government to cut down on expenditure of these public officials. I have with me in the studio Public Relations Manager, ECG Headquarters, Dan AJ Labi. We'll find out how many bungalows you're looking at and how far the exercise, because it's not the first time the President is given this directive. We'll find out the strides they've made so far. Many thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, so when are you starting this exercise?
We started the process already. Immediately the President gave the instructions. We also began the process of making sure the directive is carried out.
When you say the process has started, how do you mean?
Yeah, installing a meter goes through some processes. Let's say if it's a new service, you have to take a form, you have to complete, you send it, and then all the paperwork is done, you pay, and then the meter is installed. By that time, you have been set up so that you can get your maiden bill. In this case, they are already on service, so you will not go through that process. But you are moving them from one billing regime to another billing regime. And definitely stands to reason that some paperwork will have to be done. And so when I say the process already started.
Paper-wise, it has?
Yes.
How many bungalows are we looking at?
I cannot give the number of the bungalows.
Why not?
We have the data, but I have not requested for it. When I say the process had begun, memo are already in the regions, in the district to get the data.
We can't even estimate? We can't, you know, just a rough figure?
No, please. I don't have the data. If I don't have, I don't. It doesn't mean we don't have. We have. Okay.
Okay, let me put the question this way. How many prepaid meters are you looking at dispensing?
It's the same question that you have asked in a different
because
question.
you may not know the bungalows, but you know you have projected. We intend to dish out about 1,000 prepaid meters.
No, I've told you if I knew this question was going to come up, I would have asked
right.
for the
Let's move away from that. The point of this exercise is to cut down on government expenditure. Government already owes you. In the event that you change the payment regime, what happens to the debt?
What happens is that now they are going to deposit money upfront. Emphasis on deposit money upfront, because prepaid meters, you deposit monies while you use. At the end of the month, the calculation is done. Whatever money is left is moved on to the following month for you to continue to use. Okay. So that is going to not adding to government debt that goes through the clearing system of payment. No.
I didn't get that done. Okay.
Yeah,
let's create two scenarios. In Bungalow 1, when you went to Bungalow 1, let's say whichever official has paid some money up front already. So say month of October, the person is not supposed to be owing some electricity or something. What happens to that person if you change to the prepaid?
Oh, okay. When that person is changed, we will do what we call the final billing on the postpaid meter.
Okay.
And that will be submitted to government. Already at the end of the month, we submit the bills to government. You know, people say they don't pay. The issue is not whether they pay or not, because these are government officials and everybody has some form of condition of service. You are here, you have your own condition of service. Maybe your company fuels your vehicle for you, or has given you an official vehicle that comes for you. They are all part of at least the income that you earn. But your employer says, let me take care of that. Okay, so there's nothing like they don't pay as people are speculating. Everybody who uses electricity in this country pay. Somebody may pay for that person. It doesn't mean he doesn't pay. So there's no loss to the utility company. Let's get that right. Okay, so when this what do you call final bill is submitted to government, definitely it will be paid. to us. Then from there, no more disconnection. You disconnect yourself when your deposited money on the meter runs out. And we advise that don't wait.
We won't have the situation where ECG would give the cash to government on credit.
What to government? I don't understand your question.
Right. Let me put it this way.
Okay.
The point, you've spoken about the fact that it's prepaid,
Yes.
and if the deposited cash on your meter is done with. But we're not having the officials themselves pay. We're having government buying the credit for them.
I get you.
Yeah, right.
It means government will find a way of giving them money to buy themselves.
No, you didn't get me. What I'm saying is, would ECG now give the prepaid cards to government on credit?
No. It defeats the purpose. It's prepaid. You have to deposit money before you use. You see, it's like any other product. You go to the filling station, you don't buy on credit unless you have a special arrangement. But this wise, no special arrangement. We say deposit cash on your meter whilst you use. Okay, without the deposit, it means you are disconnecting yourself.
Now, in 2010, the president gave a similar directive, and we were supposed to fix prepaid meters in some MMDAs. How far with that one?
That one, we are around 95%, if my estimate is correct. I'm saying 95% because there are certain critical installations that we have not done, like military barracks and hospitals and things like that. You know, you agree with me that how can you go and put prepaid at our barracks as the people who protect us? It's a difficult scenario. In the hospitals, how do you do that? Doesn't mean it cannot be done, but we are still looking at means of doing it that will not affect the work that they do.
So learning from that exercise, what sort of challenges do you foresee having with this bungalow fixing?
Oh, personally, I don't think there will be any serious challenge. Okay, if you run out of power, the challenge is that you will not have the lights on in your house, and I don't think that is a serious issue, is it?
But what mechanism do you intend to use in the event that you find people who are downright stubborn when it comes to changing their postpaid meter?
I don't think these are.
We face that with the MDD, with the MMD situation.
The MMD situation is quite different. You know, they are offices, okay, and people were thinking about their subventions and other things, okay. About this one, it's individual affair. Even as when I set off from the office coming, I had a call from one of them that we should come and fix the meter, and I directed the person to the Accra East region, to the commercial manager, to go and talk to the commercial manager.
When will field work on this start? You know, like actually go in there to change.
Yeah, when the paperwork is done with, definitely.
Say by when?
I believe some can even start on Monday. The physical installation Tuesday, whatever day. It doesn't take long for this
it doesn't.
No,
that is a whole different.
We already have the data. We already have the data.
Right.
It's just by a press of a button, all those ones will come.
Right.
Okay. And then we will know the number. We will know those on three-phase meter. We will know those on single-phase meters, so that we send the meters to the regions and the districts for them to do the physical installation. And let me also add that some you may have to relocate where the meters are physically.
Are fixed, right.
Okay, and others too. You may, if you are relocating the meters, it will go with other things, like you have to extend the cable, the wires. Let me use wires for people to understand. Okay, that will bring the power to the meter and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move briefly away from the official fixing for bungalows, but The whole country too has been seeing a similar exercise. The rest of the country, rather, has been seeing a similar exercise. How far with that?
As I speak, all the metropolitan, municipal, and some districts have been covered.
Individual homes, we've seen that you've been...
Yeah, and that is what I'm saying. We started with the big cities, and I know greater part of Accra is covered, okay? Likewise, all other regions in our operational areas, okay? Even we've gone ahead by metering some districts.
The complaints have been
urban centers, yeah.
The complaints have been that usually you have your meter in your house. By the time you come back from work, the meter has been disconnected and connected on some electricity pole outside.
On some electricity pole outside for non-payment or during the fixing of
the replacement.
Let me
explain.
Take this opportunity to say that before we deploy the meters to the areas, we organize DEVES and then we do public education. You cannot get all the people. That is a fact. So those are the people who complain. But what we do is that we have leaflets that spells out the modalities and everything about the meter, how you can recharge your meter and things like that. And we will leave it with the meter and leave you some quantity of energy or cash on the meter so that you don't run out. And we will ask you that, please, this one can stay for, it's not much. So come to our offices and then
and
recharge.
So it doesn't matter. Say you come to my house to change. It doesn't matter if I have a bit of balance, because in my house, when we pay for, say, this month, we don't just pay this month. We just leave a little change on that. You don't take into account that.
All those were, when we started, I told you the prepaid has its own billing regime and the postpaid has its own billing regime. Once you move from one regime to the other, okay, the billing changes. It doesn't mean your money that is left on the meter for you is a waste. No, it doesn't go away. That is why we issue you with what we call finalized bill. Finalized bill. It will indicate whether you owe us or you have credit. And if you have credit, we take steps to transfer it on your new billing regime for you.
Why do you end up putting the prepaid meters outside of the homes?
Oh, okay. You know, it's a technology that we also picked from elsewhere. When you are working, you sit down, sometimes take stock of the work you do and try to improve it. That system that we brought has a lot of benefits. One, it reduces our losses. And then two, it allows us to have control over the meters. The meters are not for the customer. That is why we don't charge for the meters, okay? If we want to visit the meters every day, we will have access to it. So when the meters are in the houses, sometimes it's difficult for you to get access to it. You want to visit the meter to monitor how it's working, and for months you will not get access, okay? So we decided that this technology will help us, so we will bring the meters outside and then incorporate with it with reducing the losses that we incur. Yeah.
Is anything wrong? Or let me put it this way. What is wrong with the prepaid cards now? Because you buy and they run like they are in the Olympics game or something.
You see, since when? With the new tariff regime or on the old one?
With the new tariff regime. I mean,
okay, with the new tariff, you know, from 1st of October, tariff was increased by 78.9%. Okay, in some cases, it was 65% for those landline lifeliners. Okay, the DS was increased when you do the calculation about 65%. Okay, a lot of people did what we call panic buying because they thought energy, or for that matter, electricity can be hoarded. You cannot hoard electricity. It's not a tangible product that, oh, let me go and buy and keep some, so that at least I will have some respite for the first month that this thing will be increased. Okay. Take for instance, whilst it's being generated, it's being transmitted, and distribution goes on at the same time. Okay. So the thing was, the new tariff regime started from 1st October. Okay. Because you cannot hoard, those that you are consuming, okay, we will buy it on the new tariff regime from VNRA or Gridco.
Right.
Okay. So if we give it to you at the old price, it means we will also be losing. So the meters that we use now are smart meters, and they are able to, whenever you go to the vending station, when you run out and you want to top up, it will calculate your bill from the 1st of October. So immediately you take it there, then the new tariff regime takes effect, and it will take those that you have consumed on the old tariff regime. So people think, oh no,
Right.
it
And so
was running. It's not that the meters were running. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We'll leave the conversation here for now. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to explain.
Absolutely. Dan J. Labi is Public Relations Manager at ECG headquarters. As move on to some other stories, and General Secretary, Ghana Federation of Labour, Abraham Kumson, says they do not support action taken by organized labour to wear red armbands starting today over recent hikes in utility tariffs. Abraham Kumson says the Trades Union Congress was party to the increase in tariff and therefore sees no reason why it has now decided to kick against the move.
Made our point very clear earlier on that we need to plan this sequence of events that we intend embarking on. So if you don't plan it, we will not be part of it. If the government by a way will intervene and then subsidize the cost of generating the power, why? We will not be part of it. If that is what the TUC feel they have to do it, they are doing it as TUC and some other organized labor groups. So we handle about 90-something% of private study. We have adopted another strategy to achieve a result that perhaps they are also aiming at. So if they feel that the red armband will bring results, we are also using another strategy to bring the same result. So we will mix, we will converge at where they have started from. If they are first together, okay, if we also first together, that will be well for everybody. So that is their strategy. And we're also using another strategy.
Now, the Polytechnic Teachers Association of Ghana, Kumasi branch, has hinted that it will embark on a strike action. It's given, it has issued an end of October deadline to government to pay its members their arrears of the market premium following their migration onto the single spine salary structure. According to the association, although the last batch of the market premium arrears for the last quarter of 2012 was supposed to have been paid in September 2013, it has not reflected in the accounts. Edmond Prepra is chairman for the Kumasi branch of Polytechnic, and he's joining me over the telephone. Hello, Edmond.
Hello.
Many thanks for your time this afternoon, Edmond.
You're welcome.
Why has Polytechnic found it necessary to give government this ultimatum?
Well, as you said earlier, essentially, we have an agreement with government to pay market premium rate for 2012 within a certain schedule. The first one was supposed to have been May, then second July, and then last September. We agreed to this, each party signed, and we even have a letter which was authorizing the Controller and Accountant General's Department to effect payment according to those schedules. The first one, as I said, came, second one came, but the third and last one should have come in September. September, we did not see it reflect. Government did not come out, say anything. Controller has not said anything. So it is interpreted to mean that either government has forgotten or government has chosen that this time it is not going to pay. So we are using this medium to draw attention to that plight and also to call government's attention to effect payment by the end of October. And our members believe this will not be too much to ask government. So they mandated us to come out with this press release.
And the mother body didn't deem it necessary to come out with this?
Well, if you are very familiar with the Polytechnic system, although it is a kind of a union, but each chapter is independent and has its own council. Therefore, if there's any issue that is very pertinent, each member at all has the right to come out with it.
What do we know about what caused the delay?
Well, as I said earlier, we do not have any reasons government has not come out to say. So we have not heard anything. We don't know why it has delayed, and we don't know why it has not come. And we certainly don't know whether government has even any intention to pay up or not.
I see. Since you issued this ultimatum, have you had any response at all?
Well, we've not had any official response. The closest that came was from Phyllis Patrick from the Ministry of Information, which said that unions should exercise restraint. But I believe it is not enough. We should hear something that is quite pertinent or particular to the issue that Polytechnic is discussing presently. But I believe it is early this year. We have at least a week to get to the end of October. So we are still waiting to hear what government has for us. If government does not say anything, then of course we would assume that government is going to pay up by the end of October.
And in the event government does not, you resort to strike?
Well, if you read our release very clearly, we never mentioned anywhere that we will resort to strike.
I was just asking.
Yes, our options will be very few. So if this does not happen, what we will do is that we will go back to our members who mandated us to come out with this release. And then we will call an emergency meeting, explain everything to them, and leave the option to them. I believe they will be in the best position to give us further direction as far as this issue is concerned.
Many thanks, Edmond. Edmond Prepra is chairman, Kumasi branch of Polytechnic. Now, two self-acclaimed pastors were this morning picked up by the police for vandalizing properties of Ghana's Prime Minister during the Second Republic, Professor Kofi Abrefa-Busia. The two, without any provocation, broke tinted glasses which served as windows and doors at the residence.
The self-styled pastor started visiting the area about a week ago under the pretext of praying. They later decided to rent a room there, but it is still unclear if the room was ever given to them. The source further told Joy News that the caretaker of the residence, upon threat of assault by the said pastors, vacated the place 3 days ago for fear of her life. To the surprise of many, the two young men were seen destroying items at the residence. The pastors are also said to have tried to remove towels on Professor Buzia's tomb, but could only remove one before the police came around. Our cameras captured traces of blood on some parts of the wall. Faustina Forjo witnessed the vandalism.
Intimate sound 4 steps no call my nimuna, me drew yard him. Me share me sat left to say so. A hona a year brasan, when a young man we say, Nipper acquire a man for Costraha, or Munko Jijam. Me share one so not tinted glasses or honina, nay abu bono. Ninjina bubona mojan so a saying go.
At the time of filing this report, the Wenche police were still interrogating the two pastors. Nesta Kafuya Jume's report.
The concerned citizens of Techima in the Bunahafo region have issued a week's ultimatum to President John Mahama to nominate a municipal chief executive for the area. The group has also threatened to stage a massive anti-government demonstration if government does not oblige.
The concerned citizens of Techiman, led by Fusun Soa, at a news conference at Techiman, were unhappy about the delay in nominating an MC for the area. It blamed government for what it describes as a current leadership crisis due to the failure to name a Techiman MCE.
The municipality has not gotten its own substantive municipal chief executive, MCE, which we consider it to be shameful and appalling for a municipal like Techiman to be denied of a substantive municipal chief executive for almost a year now. One would ask, what has really caused this long delay for the president who cherishes the youth of the country to appoint the MCE for the municipality? We, the youth, and for that matter, the numerous concerned natives of Techiman, are not interested in blame game and pointing accusing fingers at each other. We strongly believe that release of the name of our municipal chief executive is absolutely long overdue.
They also accused certain individuals within the municipality of hijacking the nomination so they can impose their own people on them. They are meanwhile demanding that any nominations be made in consultation with the Techiman Traditional Council.
We entreat him to appoint someone who has been endorsed by the traditional authorities, other stakeholders, and majority of the people in the municipality.
Other problems the concerned citizens say is the sanitation crisis and trading on pedestrian walkways. Nesta Kafuya Jome's report.
News Today returns in a moment. Welcome back. This is News Today. The Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, Neelante Vanderpoy, wants insurance companies to make their services and products accessible to as many members of the public as possible. He is proposing a reduction in premiums to bring within reach of the ordinary Guinean.
Opening a 3-day insurance workshop organized by Activa International in partnership with Zurich Insurance Company Limited at Dodowa, the Deputy Trade Minister said patronage of insurance services by the public is very low, mainly because of the high premiums.
What insurance people want to do is to expand their network, expand their market, penetrate the market, and rope in more people into their policies, and then reduce the premiums to make it more attractive for others to join. It's just a principle of demand and supply. And I think it's important. If we don't do that, then continually, when things become difficult, the premiums will go high, and a lot more people will not find that insurance attractive.
The managing director of Activa International, Steve Tremontaine, concedes just about 2% of Ghanaians buy insurance, but said they are working to increase patronage.
We still have a long way to go in terms of the penetration which the Deputy Minister of Trade referred to. The most optimistic, I'll say, evaluation is that we have only 2% penetration of insurance. stakeholders of the industry have to maintain, and actually sort of expand, their program of communication, about the benefits of insurance. As you all know, insurance is one of the features of modern living, in advanced countries.
A consultant with Zurich Insurance Company Limited, Ian Toffield, stressed the need for partners to increase the penetration level with regards to macro-insurance in order to increase participation among the informal sector.
We are getting a greater penetration into the insurance market. This is, of course, assisted by the economy, because as the Ghanaian economy improves and people have more money in their pockets, that is when they will be able to afford insurance, because unfortunately for us in the industry, insurance does come a little far down after people have fed their families and clothed them and housed them, educated the children. It's only later that people have money available, but when that money becomes available, we are prepared and ready to give them the insurance cover which we feel they need. It is in our mutual interests to develop the insurance industry both in Ghana.
The three-day insurance workshop brought together 15 insurance companies from Africa and Europe.
So a 5 million Ghana cedi grant has been given the Ghana Trade Fair Company to undertake construction and renovation works ahead of the 7th ECOWAS Trade Fair in Accra. The Ghana Trade Fair Center itself is dilapidated and with some of its parts actually collapsing. Joy News Yafuzwa Jemfi reports some renovation works have already started.
Built some 5 decades ago, the Ghana Trade Fair Company was meant to be a site to showcase the works of industrialists in the country as part of efforts to promote made-in-Ghana goods, as well as serve as a platform for other countries, mostly from the sub-region, to exhibit their products, services, and also to promote sub-regional integration. The fairgrounds has over the years, however, lost its ability to attract patrons and has seen a consistent decline in the number of people who attend the trade fair shows organized there. A part of the decline in patronage can be attributed to the rundown state of the facility. The roof of the round pavilion in April this year collapsed. Fortunately, there was no trade show at the time. These are some of the temporary structures that were constructed about 25 years to help exhibitors showcase their wares. But as you can see, some of these structures are already given way and they need to be rehabilitated. There are others too who blame it on the managers, who somehow defaulted on utility bills so that electricity to the place was disconnected. Management is, however, excited about the injection.
Well, money is issue, certainly, because without money you cannot, implement this thing. If you had not got assistance from ADF, it would have been very, very difficult for us. If we are a limited liability company, we depend on our internally generated funds, So it's when you get programs of this nature, then it becomes the national responsibility.
But why was the facility allowed to rot so much in the first place?
See, we are working with very, 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 very old structures and facilities. These exhibition halls have been there since 1960, thereabout. They have not seen any major works. And because of they are close to the sea, the rate of corrosion is very, very, very rapid. So constantly, we are doing renovation works. But you see, when you are using an old structure, no matter the amount of money that you pump in, the more you pump in, the more repairs you are. So it becomes absolutely even uneconomical for you to do that. So,
Deputy Chief Executive Officer Nana Kwame Ofori also spoke about how management intends to maintain the facility this time around.
Well, we'll be doing our best possible, but every year we need to increase our maintenance budget to ensure that we don't leave especially the roof trusses, we don't leave them very long without applying the anti-rust cost. There should be a constant practice that we have to do to making sure that the electrical cables, the areas that we're unable to attend presently, we look at that area.
The 7th ECOWAS Trade Fair is scheduled for October 31 to November 11. Local exhibitors are expected to pay between 15,000 and 19,000 Ghana cedis for allocation of space to exhibit their wares. It will be an opportunity for management to win back the confidence of exhibitors, many of whom had over the years lost faith.
Nokia has unveiled its first phablet extra-large phones as well as its first tablet computer. The Windows Phone handset introduces the ability to change which objects in a photo are in focus after it is taken. The Windows RT tablet has a 4 GB data chip, unlike Microsoft's recently announced Surface 2. Nokia World in Abu Dhabi is likely to be remembered as the Finnish firm's last major event before it completes the sale of its hardware unit. Rashida Baba Kadiri brings us sports after this.
Good afternoon. Thanks for staying tuned to the sports segment on News Today. My name is Rashida Baba Kadiri. Is proudly sponsored by Tigo Smile. You've got Tigo. Now let's begin with a player who plays for AC Milan and one of an elite few who have played for both AC Milan and Inter. And he is saying he's enjoying his time in the city of Milan. Sule Muntari has been talking about his life in Italy, dealing with racism and his passion for fixing cars.
I'm loving it now, and also I'm in the right place with a great family. They giving me all the opportunity to play and making me feel really cool at home. So you know, everything is wonderful here. This is what I want to do. Aside football, I want to go in exactly. Yeah, I want to get dirty. I want to work on cars and do everything. So yeah, it's exciting. It's not only about football and football. Of course, it's football because this is my life. But I'm trying to build another second life, let's say. That's the garage, and I love it.
Away from Sule Muntari, remember that Sule Muntari was part of the Ghanaian setup that beat Egypt 6-1 last week at the Babayara Sports Stadium in Kumasi. And after that one, Egyptian Football Association has announced Coach Bob Bradley will stay in charge of the team for the World Cup playoff second leg against Ghana. Now, the coach has urged the team to maintain their posture.
Most of all, the players who love Egypt so much. I think the pressure of everything that's happened in this country the last 2 years was great on this day, and when you put it all together, it was too much. If it's left to me, I will be with the team because we have been together throughout this period with a dream, and it's important that we can stand together one more time. We spoke following the match about the need to still be strong and stick together and be ready now.
That was Egyptian head coach Bob Bradley. Remember that Bob Bradley was the coach for USA that lost to Ghana in the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. He's lost a second time. Will he want to do it a third time? That will be on November 19. Away from that, let's focus on what's happening in the UEFA Champions League tonight. Some matches will be going on across Europe. And for me, that big one at the San Siro between AC Milan and Barcelona is what I'm looking forward to. But of course, there are others to look ahead to also. Schalke and Nufia up against Chelsea in Germany. Steaua Bucharesti are hosting Basel. Arsenal, they take on Borussia Dortmund at the Emirates Stadium in London. Marseille will host Napoli at the Stade Velodrome. Austria Vienna are taking on Atletico Madrid. FC Porto would host Zenit St. Petersburg in Portugal. And then Ajax Amsterdam travel to Scotland to play Celtic. Like I said, AC Milan playing against Barcelona is what I'm really looking forward to because it will be Sule Muntari up against Lionel Messi. Let's see how that turns up. And remember that there will be updates of that game, particularly on our subsequent bulletins on Joy Sports and also on all our platforms on radio, on TV and online. My name is Rashida Baba Kadiri. Sports on News Today is done for now. It's proudly brought to you by Tigo. Smile, you've got Tigo.
Thanks for staying on. In news from elsewhere, M23 rebels and the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo have suspended peace talks only days after the rebels spoke of major breakthroughs. The two sides have been meeting in Kampala, the capital of neighboring Uganda, which is brokering the peace talks. The suspension of talks on Monday came just hours after UN envoys warned of the dangers if a deal was not agreed soon to end the year and half-old ravaged ravaging the Democratic Republic of Congo's volatile east. Mozambique's opposition Renamo movement has ended a 1992 peace accord after government forces attacked the base of its leader Afonso Dhlakama. The government forces captured the base in central Mozambique, forcing Dhlakama to flee. About 1 million people were killed in the civil war that raged in Mozambique after it achieved independence from Portugal in 1975. Mozambique's economy has been booming since the civil war ended. Far away Australia, firefighters deliberately joined up 2 large fires near the Blue Mountains as part of efforts to control bushfires across New South Wales. The New South Wales Fire Commissioner said extensive backburning operations were being deployed in anticipation of worsening conditions on Wednesday. On Tuesday morning, more than 60 blazes were still alight, with 13 uncontained. The region experienced light rain on Tuesday, but firefighters say this will not be enough to quench the fires. New South Wales declared a state of emergency on Sunday after being caught in some of the region's worst fires in years. New South Wales Rural Fire Services Commissioner Shane Fitzsimmons said that the fires at State Mine and Mount Victoria had been deliberately and tactically joined to try and prevent them from merging with a third fire at Springwood. Arab and Western foreign ministers are to meet Syrian opposition officials in London in an effort to persuade them to attend planned peace talks. A key group in Syria's main opposition alliance is threatening to boycott the talks expected next month in Geneva. The Syrian National Council has been unwilling to talk to representatives of Bashar al-Assad's government. Ministers will say opposition unity is vital if peace talks are to have any chance of success. We'll do some showbiz news after this. Welcome back. Just before we get into showbiz, a quick one here. The exercise to ensure that government officials living in government residential facilities pay for their electricity will commence tomorrow. Government vehicles are also to comprehensively track and monitor are supposed to be tracked and monitored to prevent abuse of such facilities by government officials. The announcements were made at the media briefing Tuesday at the Flagstaff House by Deputy Information and Media Relations Minister Felix Kwasi.
Following a cabinet meeting held on Thursday, His Excellency President Mahama directed that all government residential facilities be provided with prepaid meters as a way of securing the financial health of the utility service providers and also ensuring that government appointees foot their own utility bills. The exercise would commence next week. ECG would start installing the meters next week, and so already all government appointees occupying these residential facilities have been directed to cooperate with ECG in this exercise. Also, directives were issued for all government vehicles to be registered in the name of the government. As part of the recommendation and the roadmap that the Administrator General provided, the infrastructure is being laid, and I'm talking about electronic infrastructure, to help manage and keep track of all government vehicles, so that even when the numbers change to GV, we are able to monitor the use of these vehicles as a way of enforcing the directive.
The Deputy Minister also took some time to congratulate Joy News' Gift Yando Apia on a recent award at the CNN Africa Journalist Award held in South Africa.
That it is gratifying to know that one of our own, and when I say one of our own, one of the people we work with, has gained international recognition for the hard work that she has been putting in. And I believe that it will spur the rest of you on to achieve greater heights. It also speaks to the quality of journalism that is being practiced currently, and we hope that the standard is maintained so that we can compete favorably with the rest of the world. So Gifty, congratulations once again.
Time now for some showbiz, and it looks like there's a modern day Fela Kuti in town. Perhaps Burna Boy really wanted to celebrate the essence of the late great Fela Kuti during Celebration 2013 at the New Africa Shrine, a shrine put up by Fela's son Femi Kuti in honor of his father.
The singer thrilled his audience at the New Africa Shrine in Lagos early Monday morning when he stripped to his underwear like the late Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti while performing for the close of Celebration, an annual event paying homage to the Nigerian-born singer who died in 1997. How far would Burna Boy go in honoring the memory of other legendaries? Meanwhile, Burna Boy is scheduled to headline a concert later this year in Ghana.
Those drawers are far already. This is News Today. Let's check our headlines again. And Electricity Company of Ghana from next Monday starts the process of installing prepaid meters in official homes of government appointees in line with President Mahama's directive. Former flag bearer aspirant of the New Patriotic Party, Professor Kwabena Frimpong suggests a complete revolution of policies and programs if the party is to win 2016 general election. M23 rebels and government of the Democratic Republic of Congo suspend peace talks days after the rebels spoke of major breakthroughs. And my name is Kimini Nyamani Aman. Other small news on MindYourOnline.com. Thanks for your company and goodbye.